Hi, my name is Kaylin and I work as a museum educator at the National Museum of Mexican Art. And for today's workshop, we're going to be learning how to paint our face like a calavera de azúcar, a sugar skull. And this is traditionally done during Dia de los Muertos and another way to honor our loved ones. So the materials that we will be needing for this workshop would be first face paint. I recommend having at least 3 colors. The first color being white to set a base. The other color would be black for the designs, and then an additional color of your choosing, pink, red, green, whichever, and this would be for the details as well. Alongside your brushes, I also recommend having a sponge, and this would be used to lay down the white foundation. And then last but not least, napkins and water to clean your brushes and to make sure if you have any errors, you can use that to fix the errors as well. Those would be all of the materials that you would need. So for today's workshop, I will be painting Daniela's face. And so to start, what we're first going to do is that with a sponge, you're going to lightly dip it in water and then dip it in white paint. So it is more traditional to use white paint, but of course this is optional. You can use whichever color for the base that you would like. And I will be painting Daniela's whole face. But it is very popular also to do either half a face or a quarter of her face, but for this workshop purpose, I will be painting the whole face. So what I recommend when laying down your base is that you leave room specifically around the eyes and maybe a little bit around the nose. And so that is when you begin to paint the eyes, you're not going to mix your color paint with your white paint. So with a small brush, what I'm going to have you do is dip your brush in water and then into the paint. So for this side of the face, I'm going to be using black for around the eyes and the nose, as well as the mouth. So what you're going to do now is, again, with the thin liner brush, you're going to outline her eye. And so, of course, everyone has a different face shape. So what I do to help make the shape of the eye is that I follow the bone structure from the eyebrow all the way down to the cheekbone to get that kind of oval-like shape. So when you do your nose, start with one line in the middle of the nose and kind of follow the shape of your nose as well. Okay, once you've done filling in the eye, I recommend letting it dry for a bit. So once the paint completely dries, I'm gonna then have you open your eyes. So if you open your eyes, and then if you notice when you open your eye, there is still skin under your eye that is completely bare. So I recommend looking up and then begin painting under your eye. So now with a very fine thin brush, what you're gonna then do, much like the nose, you're gonna start from the center of your lips and then make your way out. Again, using black. So I like to start with one line and then another. So I like to start with one line down the middle and then another line going horizontally. Now, once you have your base, which would basically be, you know, the eyes, the nose, the mouth. From here, you then could begin to make your own design. So to do a simple design, again, you can continue to use black or an additional color, depending on your preference. So to do something simple, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a simple kind of like flower design around her eye. Now again, with your color of choosing, for mine I will use red to fill it in. So this, you're gonna have to be like still. Okay. Now that I've done this floral design, so this floral design is a very popular design to do around the eye. What I'm then gonna do is I'm gonna create like a swirl above her eyebrow. And then for the cheekbones, I'm going to do a simple swirl alongside her cheekbones to kind of mimic the deep cavity that we have. And then there you go. Honestly, a lot of the designs within very traditional Dia de los Muertos face are simple curves, flowers, dots, very quick and simple gestures. And so that's what this side of the half is. This is a very traditional, very simple way of painting a face. So on the other side of Daniela's face, we're going to do more of a complicated look. So we're going to use very little black and actually much more color on this side of the face. So to begin, we're going to touch up, again, much like the other side, we're going to outline her eyes as well as her lips and move from there. If you notice, I outlined both her nose and her eyes with black and then blended it to purple. And again, this is to give more depth to her eyes and the nose. And to give just more of a pop of color instead of just using completely black. Instead of black, I'm going to use purple to outline the teeth. So I'm going to do a similar floral design, but instead of doing rounded, I'm going to do a sharp edge. And much like the coloring I've been doing in the eyes and the nose, I'm going to do a very similar color inside the petals, but with an additional color. As you can see, I've actually used the color purple to kind of create a shadow definition for the cavity as well, to create more definition on her cheekbone as well as under her chin. And so I'm actually going to go over just with a little bit of black, again, to create more depth and shadow. So feel free to pause the video and move on your own pace. Now this is the finished look. As you can see, there are a lot of differences between this side and this side, so feel free to do the one that you are most comfortable with. My name is Kaylin and I work at the National Museum of Mexican Art, and I want to thank you again for joining us with our free virtual face painting workshop, and I hope to see you soon.